everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of our Profits for Sanity podcast. I'm your host, Dominic Caminata, CEO of Gross University and industry-leading sales trainer. As we say on the show every single time, we firmly believe that in the world of business, that volume is for vanity and profit is for sanity. And the mission of the show is very simple: to bring the brightest minds in the home improvement industry that can educate you exactly how to grow and scale a more profitable company from top to bottom. And today's episode is going to accomplish just that. Today we have an all-star guest that I'm honored to say is a good friend of mine and someone I've known for several years, Grant Winstead, who has a very inspiring life story and has created a 5-step program to help entrepreneurs just like you build an apex level home improvement business. If you're an entrepreneur or a business owner in any capacity, this podcast is going to be packed full of incredible information that you can use to run more profitable business and live a better life. So Grant, I just want to say thank you for traveling all the way from Washington, D.C. to be here in Madison, Wisconsin, our studio. So sorry it's not like paradise, like somewhere tropical, but Madison's a nice place to visit. So how was your travels today?
It was great. It was great. The energy was, it was just beautiful. From the time I woke up this morning, Dom, It was like, life is good.
Yeah, so you flew first class, right?
Everywhere
you got to do it right.
That's right. We're gonna do it. It inspires you to be the best.
It does.
You know, it really does. I don't sit up first class because I'm trying to show off. Yeah. It just inspires me to be the best I can be, and I can afford it now.
When you showed up to our office, I swear it was like watching a celebrity getting out of the car, walking up, like you had your sunglasses on. It was perfect. So, your life story, obviously the goal here, I want to dive into that. Like, how did you become the Grant Winstead that the industry knows today? Going back from your childhood, how did you discover this industry? And what were some of those pivotal moments you feel gave you this amazing opportunity, of course, now being a successful entrepreneur?
First of all, I want to thank you for having me out here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Dom, I have watched you, and I am really admired. And it's hard for me to get admired by people because I'm a realist. I work hard. I work 12, 13 hours a day, every day. And I do it on Sundays if I have to. But you and the way that you operate and the way that you are so kind and so generous with your time, it's like, okay, I can deal with this guy. This guy's probably working as hard as I am. So it's an honor to be out here and spend this time.
No, it's an honor to have you. We appreciate it.
You asked the question, how I got into this industry. When I was a little boy, and I guess I was about 12, 13 years old. I never knew. You don't wake up and say you're going to be a home improvement guy. In my mind, when I met these guys, I said, I want to be like them.
From a young age, 12 years old, you had this image of this industry, whether it's selling windows or whatever it is, it's professional, like the professionalism of the industry you got exposed to at a young age. Right. So now you're kind of holding that image in your mind, right?
I'm holding it. And then, one day I'm just having lunch at a restaurant. This Afro-American guy kept coming in, and he had gold on, and he had a BMW. And so this particular day, he came in by himself, and I'm having lunch by myself. I said, well, Grant, you got nothing to lose. I'm looking for a job. So I walked up to him. You're looking down at me, and I'm looking at you. What exactly do you do? And he said he sold home improvement. He sold windows.
Yeah, I got to see what this is all about.
Yeah, right. He asked me, I want a job. I said, yeah, I'll take a job. What would you like to have me do? He said, I want you to meet me here tomorrow, and I'll put you to work. He said, jump in. And he said, I'm going to take you to a neighborhood. He gave me a script, and that's how I got into the business. I was a canvasser.
Giving this opportunity, because you have no idea where this is going to lead to.
Yeah.
But no idea. You still knew at that point that you were onto something special,
right?
That could be could transform your life,
right?
And obviously it has.
It has.
But it's also not all sunshine and rainbows either, right? I mean, getting thrown into canvassing at a young age.
Man,
that's a tough proposition.
Oh man! But you know what? The way I thought, I did an article, but the way I seen it at that particular time, I had nothing going for me anyway. Okay, this is an opportunity. I can knock on doors. I wasn't made to do it. I trained myself.
How comprehensive was that script that you got initially? Was it pretty good, or?
It was just, hi, my name is Grant. Okay. I'm walking in the neighborhood.
Okay.
It wasn't no big detail, but it worked. A lot of rejects, but a lot of, when you got that yes, it was like, yeah, it was all worth all the no's.
And you can tell the salespeople that have had that experience in their life have much stronger obstacle immunity against rejection and objections than other salespeople do.
Right.
What do you feel attributed to you being able to mentally handle that much? I mean, getting thrown into it, getting through all that rejection at such a young age.
Absolutely. Because really, it only took one. I always seen the positive side. The rejection didn't really, it mattered. I felt it, but the reward was always greater than the rejection. I had a family to feed. I wanted to eat. And back then they were paying pretty good money. So for me, it didn't bother me.
Yeah, you do. It's just a numbers game. Yeah, it's all going to balance out in the end.
It's going to balance out, and it did. And I was kind of like, I can do this.
I actually talk about this often with sales teams that we consult with, that, over time, occasionally salespeople turn into lead babies, right, in the industry. They become ungrateful and unappreciative of what goes into generating a lead. So one thing that happened to me with my sales manager when I first got in the industry is he would take the sales team canvassing just to give them that reminder of like where a lead comes from, how much effort. So your company is going to do everything in their power to give you the best opportunity, but it ain't easy out there. And I tell you what, that was such an eye-opening experience for me. And one of the best feelings I ever had in my whole career was generating my own lead and selling it.
Oh, that's great.
That was such a remarkable experience. But now I'm like, I'm never going to complain about my leads or marketing ever again.
That was great. So, I had this canvasser, his name was CJ. He was like the best closer, but he wasn't trained. He was just like a really good salesman. So back then, everybody had to go out and get leads. They weren't given no leads. So this is a proactive type of thing. You always got to be like on the hunt for a lead. And then you would give it to the closers, he would go back and sell it. But this industry, when it's proactive, you're actually out there in the middle of the action and you're getting it done. But it was fascinating. I was able to create the lifestyle that I wanted just by knocking on doors.
So at that early age, when you were generating the leads and handing it off to the closer, what was your perception of the closer, whether or not that was like a higher status or if that was something you aspired to be? Like, did you have an interest in becoming a closer at a young age?
Well, here's the deal. I was doing so marvelous job canvassing. I was happy with that. The closer was CJ had passed away. And I had to figure out at that point what was my next move. Being an introvert, that was a really tough decision, because I wasn't a people person I am today,
right,
so to speak. I was like, I wanted to be by myself most of the time. But the industry allowed me to do that. I don't know where I would be if the industry wasn't so forgiving and so welcoming to me.
That's amazing. So I was talking to you about this not too long ago, that it's amazing to me that a lot of the very successful people that I know in this industry, and I have the honor and privilege of knowing a lot of them now, they're more selfless than they need to be. A lot of people are willing to share in this industry, and that's what I really love about it, because I attend events and I see all these guys running $500 million companies or $300 million companies, and they're literally up on stage for a lot of times for free, sharing what's working for them, what's not working for them. I mean, I got people that come on this podcast like yourself, willing to share information, help others. And this is why I love when we run our events, because obviously we deliver a lot of amazing content in our events, but the biggest value is a lot of times just the networking they do with other business leaders. And it's just crazy how people are just so willing to share and help each other out and take people under their wing, like being mentors without being required to. But this is what floors me, is the people that don't seek out mentorship, don't seek out leadership, coaching, or some sort of guidance, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel in a lot of cases. You can emulate what other people are doing and fast track your success.
I was always been an open type guy. I always was eager. Listen, I wasn't the smartest guy on the block. I got pushed through school. When I met Mel, which was like the king of the king, he says, if you just know how to ask, subtract, and multiply in this business, man, you can do well. I think I can do that.
I can do that, yeah.
I can do that. He said, okay.
Well, that's reassuring too. Like people that are wildly successful, breaking it down, because you can overcomplicate anything. But if you really try to simplify things and break them down into terms that people can understand, and this is what I try to focus on a lot with the training that I do.
Like I said, I was never the smartest guy, but I always kept an open mind and I always used common sense.
Yeah.
And those two things kept me going. Just keep it simple and hear what they're saying.
Well, it's funny you said the two things, open mind and common sense. Well, as it turns out, both of those are rare these days. I think that was actually a big strength of yours. It should be more common than it is.
Well, when I go back to Pittsburgh, a lot of these guys, when you were a canvasser, that's all you were going to be for the rest of your life. I want to go forward, but I can do this too. And that's always been my mindset. There's something more. There's something better.
Yeah, and this is something that I've done throughout my whole life. I seek out opportunities to get uncomfortable, intentionally put myself in situations because I feel like it's in the discomfort where a lot of that's where a lot of the real growth occurs in a man or in a person. So staying open-minded, staying humble, staying hungry.
If I did have challenges, I would look at them, face them, and just plow right ahead and try to figure out what I needed to do. Once I was able to get to the other side of that fear or whatever that discomfort, it's always better. It was the best decisions that I make. So like now, this is kind of discomfort, sitting there opening myself up, exposing myself. But I know the possibilities that can be on the other side. Keep moving forward.
I think that's just the biggest thing that separates a wildly successful business professional entrepreneur and somebody that never makes it, that willingness to push through your fears, get outside your comfort zone. And you've already said you've had some of the most successful mentors like in the history of this business, right? Kind of show you the ropes, take you under their wing, coach you through some things, but yet you're still always traveling and going to events to learn. Based on your mentors, based on the stuff you've learned, you've come up with this incredible program where essentially it's like the 5 pillars or the 5 keys to building a successful home improvement business.
Let me tell you this here. Yeah. I didn't come up with it. Right. When I was sitting in my mentor's office, he said to me, this is not complicated. Just do these 5 things in your business and you will be successful.
Let's kind of dive into the 5 keys. We know if you're out of leads, you're out of business, right? So kind of diving into marketing, you have some elements, help companies kind of build and develop and hone in their marketing strategy. I guess, what are some of those elements of that pillar you feel are essential?
The first thing is that you got to understand, this is a proactive business. You ain't got no leads, you ain't got no business. That's the bottom line.
You can be the best salesperson ever. If no one's calling you, you have nothing to sell.
So marketing, when I think about marketing, is because people buy off who they like. I was selling everybody, but everybody wasn't buying. Right? I'm out in this community over here, this community over here. So when I found my key demographics, you have to find the people that's going to buy off you.
You also, as a business owner and a leader, you have to establish who are we? What is our identity? What are our core values?
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that it sounds simple, but I there's not a lot of companies that are really doing that. More companies need to. You got to establish what you stand for, what your core values are, and don't be afraid of that.
Yeah. That's part of it, Dominic. That's part of it. But still, there's certain people that you relate to. There's certain people that I relate to, and those people that I relate to are the people that's going to buy off me. Where can I find those people at in a mass? For me, it was the Afro-American community. I think with marketing, you got to find your customer. And if you find your customer, then you can have a base. A lot of these guys are shotgunning.
Yeah, and there's a lot of resources available to companies now. People can get a lot of assistance, trying to narrow down their target demographic, or even for products and services. What are people most inclined to buy?
You have to do the research. You have to know what you want and who your customer is, and then figure out how to market to them.
Marketing right now is such a sore subject for a lot of companies. I mean, I'm talking to companies where their marketing spend is 30% or more. They're just throwing insane amounts at marketing because I think their focus is not narrowed down enough, and who knows how effective it is or not, right? So I think that's a really important lesson there is who the heck is our target market? Who is the primary demographics that is most likely to buy from us? It's somebody that they know, like, and trust. People are more likely to buy from people who are like them.
The first thing you want to do is find your customer. Now, once you find your customer, it's all uphill.
And you didn't go at it alone. Don't be afraid to seek out help. If you're open-minded and you are willing to invest in yourself and go to these events and network, you'd be blown away by that information. That's that one person that you meet at the event that could change your life and your trajectory in this industry. That's where I think the big value is. Invest in yourself, invest in your education. And we're seeing that shift more now in this industry. More people are investing in training and technology, and we're seeing events as a whole becoming more popular. But that just means the competition's also getting more fierce because there's more people than ever investing in training and technology. There's a big influx of money hitting this industry.
Right.
Obviously, marketing is foundational pillar. Any other cool strategies in marketing you feel are effective?
That internet is powerful. Two things my brother said to me. He said, you're going to make your money, Grant. You're going to make it on TV and the internet. And that stands to be true.
The thing that I've seen from the most successful companies that I work with is they're doing a very great job at creating content and putting it out there on social media. I see companies doing all kinds of creative stuff. They have their own podcasts.
Oh, absolutely.
Companies have their own radio talk shows.
Yeah.
Their own YouTube channels, and just putting this stuff out there. And when they get leads off of these sources, whether they're a podcast or a radio show or a YouTube channel, it's like lay down city because these people already trust them.
Right.
And this is why, like, our business, and it's not something I ever planned, a big chunk of what we do now is just create content.
Right.
And we create content for other companies. Right. So it's just being creative. But the message is figure out who your demographic is, figure out who your customer is, and then make sure you're focusing your marketing energy on that. And that's going to give you a lot more return on your investment.
And my mentor told me this here. He said, man, you got to keep that marketing costs down. When I saw these bathrooms, I got 4 displays that we load up into the cargo van, and we take them right down to where our customers are going to be, and we'll display them. Every fair, every carnival, we got events coming up in August and September where I know there's going to be like 200,000-300,000 people. And it's going to cost me, the one event is only $250.
No, that's so smart. And, back when I was at Matt City, we'd have events that we didn't have to pay to go to at all because we were adding value to the event. So it'd be like a car show where, like you said, there's like 50,000 people there. And we were just raffling off a new set of tires and wheels, that within home estimate, you get into the raffle. Yeah. But we get hundreds of leads, and we didn't have to pay to even be there. Right. And then similar, the Strawberry Festival, the garden shows, rock concerts. You're describing opportunities where you can go out and hunt for your business, and it carries a very high return on investment.
Right. And that's what you look for in this business. That's how you make it.
So what would you say is like a really good goal for you in terms of cost of marketing? What would you say in terms of your whole business is a healthy percentage?
I'm saying 8 and 10%.
Between 8 and 10%, and you're able to maintain that.
I would maintain that. So I would say between 8 and 10%.
Yeah, this industry is turning into a data-driven sport, and everything's about data and information. And I actually know companies that are hiring data analysts. But of course, you have a lead. Now, how do we ensure that lead's being converted on? How do we ensure that our in-home closers are expertly trained in order to go in there and capitalize on every precious opportunity? Of course, we talked about pillar number 1, marketing. The second key we focus on is sales here.
You think you can get in this business and kind of wing it.
Yeah, shoot from the hip.
Yeah. Well, that winging it only works so long.
That's where people come to us because they usually get to like that 3 to 5 million by winging it, and then they're like, wow, this is not sustainable.
It's sustainable, right.
In order to scale, to get past that threshold, we need some processes in place. Yeah.
Right. And the 10-step methodology is probably the best. That is key. Being able to go into that house and know every step of the way, you go in the house, you follow the methodology, you follow the steps, you do a master presentation, it's all yours. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out.
I know it doesn't because I figured it out. Yeah, I'm definitely not a genius.
Me either. So it doesn't take a genius. You just gotta be consistent.
Yeah, as I commonly share, I came into this industry with zero sales experience. Again, didn't know how to close the door with the wind behind me. It was the Grasso 10-step sales process. That's what I first got exposed to, not knowing anything about anything. I go into my first home, and I end up selling the damn thing, and I sold my first 7 deals in a row, not having a clue what I was even doing, but just following this paint-by-number system. And then I started to quantify. I'm like, man, what if I could do this every week? What would my lifestyle look like? So it became an instant obsession of mine from early on in my career, and I just fell in love with it. And I've been working on it ever since. I get to share this gift that changed my life with so many people, and same with you. It's such a profound thing. But again, I was pretty timid, but knowing the system gave me confidence and courage to go for the no. And I like to describe it as we throw out the wishbone and grow a backbone, just like you train your salespeople, your closers, right? I trained that when you get hit with an objection, make sure you pause for at least 5 to 10 seconds before speaking.
It's really hard to do what we do. I really feel like a lot of guys, they don't give it a chance, because you come in this industry and people tell you like you can make 100,000, 200,000, whatever, but it's kind of hard to believe if you're only making 25, 30,000.
That's where, I put a lot of responsibility on leaders. So I'm doing a lot of training with sales leaders now. And I like to remind them that if they want a team of sales warriors that believe in what they do, that believe in themselves, their sales team is going to be a mere reflection of leadership, so the leaders have to instill that belief into their team. You have to inspire these people to achieve things they probably have never achieved before. That's why I talk about the biggest KPI everyone needs to be concerned about is keeping people inspired. And it's easier said than done, but if I'm going to build a sales culture of sales warriors that have high levels of belief in their company, then certainly my belief in myself as a leader and my ability to train that passion and belief into my team needs to be a 10 out of 10.
They self-sabotage and they don't believe it. And that's why I always like to start a conversation off when I'm talking to somebody. Low entry, high potential. Low entry. You may have guys that come in here, but they don't believe in themselves to be able to get up, to get up there. I was able to captivate it and see it in the beginning, and I just hung in there with it.
You should expect at the very least that you're going to come out with a sale more often than not.
Absolutely.
Are there prospects going to objection school right now? No, they're not. They're not currently taking classes, course on how to not buy from you, right? So you have the upper hand as long as you're willing to put in the work to master the game.
Yeah, you got to put the work in.
You got to master the craft.
Once you put the work in, hone your craft, going to these classes and everything that Grasso University offers, and they train under your system, there's no reason why they shouldn't be like $2-3 million producers, because you have all the information.
I was such a systematic salesperson. Like you said it yourself, you know what they're going to say before they say it. Often when I had someone ride with me, I said, I want you to really listen to what the prospect's saying. It's going to sound like they're role playing with me. As we're going through the process and I'm asking them questions and they're responding, these salespeople are trying not to laugh because they're like, holy cow, it's like exactly the way we trained in the classroom. But that's where it's so empowering as a salesperson, right? And again, you do have the upper hand to get the outcome you desire more often than not.
Yeah, you got the upper hand, and that is the beauty of this business. I mean, when we walk into a house, 9 out of 10 we're going to get them.
And just going into that house with an eye of the tiger like that confidence, you radiate. I mean, you sell proportionate to how you feel, So that's so important. That's what the system did for me.
One of the reasons that I think that I was able to be somewhat of a success, I'm going to do it your way, but I'm going to do it in my style. I'm going to be me, so to speak. And I think a lot of guys, a lot of leaders have this way that you have to do it this way. You have to do it this way. And if I could be me and delivering it, I'd be a lot better, and I'd be a better asset to the company.
Yeah, I love that you said that. We actually have a whole chapter that we added just on that subject of style, because we talk about skills and strategies in sales, but one thing that's almost never talked about is the style And it's this element of being a chameleon in the house and being able to adapt, based on your authenticity and of course who you're speaking to. The analogy I like using is golf lessons. You get lessons from a golf coach. They'll teach you how to grip the club. They'll teach you how to position the ball in your stance, keep your eye on the ball, have a proper backswing, follow through. They'll teach you the foundational, fundamental elements of how to swing a club. Right. And that's non-negotiable. This is what everybody does. Right. However, this doesn't mean after you get that foundational training that I can go out on the course and be Tiger Woods one-on-one. That's right. So how do I get really good at golf? Well, I take the sales training or the foundational training that I received, and then through role-playing and repetitions and drills and over, I develop my authentic swing. Like in golf, I need to develop my authentic swing that works for me, my body type, my length of my arms, and that's the same thing in sales. You got to develop your true authentic way of delivering the message, but the foundation has to stay.
Has to stay, that's right.
Ultimately, I love what you said about having fun. The salespeople I know that are the top performers in this industry have a lot of fun. They love what they do, and they carry that fun in and out of the house. They have the most fun on the lead. They have the most fun outside the lead. They just love the game, the sport, and they get a lot of joy and fulfillment out of it. Like you said, it doesn't have to be like military strict. It does take a lot of effort to master it, to get to cruising altitude.
Yeah, to get to cruising altitude. Well, it takes work to do that. It takes a lot of work.
Once you get there,
you're there.
We are pleased to announce our all-new Gross University 60-Day Challenge. For the first time ever, we are inviting companies nationwide to enroll a salesperson and a sales leader into our next Sales Academy Masterclass absolutely free. Our team of legendary trainers will take them through our comprehensive 2-week sales training, where every student will be tested and certified as a sales warrior. After the live training event, every sales warrior will also receive a full 60-day trial access to all of our Sales Academy Masterclass services, which will give them access to our industry-leading online sales training platform, access to our live weekly sales meetings from our certified coaches, and one-on-one product-specific training and support to guarantee that every salesperson truly turns into a shining star in the industry. The best part is you can experience all of this training absolutely free with no obligation. Schedule a call today with one of our representatives and learn how Gross University can easily become the sales training arm of your business and take your company to the next level. I'm honored to announce that this November 14th and 15th, Gross U will be hosting our 3rd annual Growth and Profitability Summit. Join us at the stunning Omni Resort and Spa in Amelia Island. You'll learn all about lead generation and conversion, leveraging the latest and greatest technologies, and the proven strategies for streamlining your operational efficiency. Network with industry leaders, forge valuable relationships, and return back to your business equipped to make 2025 a year of abundance and prosperity. Are you ready to build an apex level company? Reserve your seat at the Agogi Growth and Profitability Summit today and lead the future of the home improvement industry. So of course we talked about 2 of the big pillars, marketing and sales. Now you have financing as a pillar of your business.
Absolutely.
To a successful home improvement business. So what do you think it is specifically? And again, this is a rhetorical question. I know financing is important, but what do you personally feel is the reason why financing is one of your 5 key pillars?
85% of guys that are successful in this industry is using financing. No one has $15,000 or $20,000 laying around. And if they do, let me tell you something. They're going to beat you up. They're going to beat you down. Financing is so key. If you can learn that game in your sales pitch and your sales methodology, it can only add the value of what you're doing for the homeowner. When you walk in the house and you get to the need assessment and you see that it's all, the bathroom's all messed up or the roof is messed up, whatever you're in the house for, and we offer financing. And then now you know where you stand. Oh, you do? And then if the homeowner says, I think about paying cash, now you know where you stand. But you always want to lean towards that financing. That's going to get you to the table. That's going to get that job done for you.
I don't know how much you've looked into the data coming out of Rilla Voice. They've analyzed 1 million sales encounters or more now, and they've segmented it because it integrates with the CRM, so they know, like, here's what the top 1% of closers are doing that average salespeople are not doing. Right. Out of 1 million sales encounters, the top 1% of the sales performers talk about financing 8 times more in the house, financial terms, than average salespeople do. We're not even talking about bad salespeople. We're talking about average. I actually just talked to a salesperson in the Boston area. He was the finance manager at a car dealership. Ever bought a car, you know that the closer is not the salesperson you first talked to, it's the finance manager. His first 4 months in the business, he wrote a $4.6 million in siding and roofing sales. And 95% of all of it was sold on financing. Even cash buyers finance from him. The thing is salespeople have to be trained on how to talk, act, and behave when discussing money. Because salespeople get really weird a lot of times when they start, because it's a personal discussion. If I can't control my, my tone and my disruptive emotions, if I get all uncomfortable, the homeowner's going to feel that. So it's important that your salespeople are expertly trained on how to discuss financing. And I love what you said. It should be brought up early in the sales encounter. By the time I get to the close, ideally, the homeowner should already be conditioned that that's the way everybody buys.
That's right.
You have so much more leverage at the negotiating table when you have finance.
No doubt about it. It's a powerful closing tool. Yeah. It's powerful closing. If I got to tell Miss Jones, especially my customer, that they're going to come up with any amount of money, it's going to kill the deal. And financing is a very, very key ingredient in our business. And if you're not using it, then you're probably not making any money.
So the thing that I've experienced with my personal journey in this industry and the sales teams that I've trained is when I was armed with the power of financing in the home, I no longer had to sell on price. And the difference was all I had to focus on was affordability, not price. So it gave me a lot more leverage at the negotiating table in a sales encounter as a sales professional. The more simple, easy, and painless I could make it for them to own my product, the easier the sale was, and the more profitable it ended up being. Because when you're limited to cash, especially what the prospect has, their means to be able to pay cash, they have more leverage to kind of beat you up on your price now because they only have a finite amount of money.
Financing is the way to go. It makes it, like you said, it makes it affordable for the customer, and it makes it easy for you to control that job at the end of the sales process. Miss Jones, I probably would need 5% down. You can come up with that, or you can come up with $340 a month. Can you handle that? Most of the time when I'm talking to a customer, or we train our guys, we talk in terms of payments and not whole price. If you can afford the payment, then we can make this affordable for you.
No, financing is such a powerful tool. I've had a lot of situations in my personal career where I lay down the total investment and the homeowner shouts out, wow, that's way too much money. We can't afford that. Or the price is too high. And I just go right into financial terms. If and when you were to handle an investment like this, how would you handle it? Is this something you could comfortably do as a cash investment, write a check for? Or like most of our customers, something you'd handle as a monthly investment or a budget plan. They're like, oh, we'd have to finance it. Great. Since I'm here anyway, let me just show you some of our monthly investment programs. Let me know if any of them work for you. Fair enough. And you lay it down and they're like, it's only $180 a month. I'm like, yeah, I told you it was affordable. They're like, what is there? Just an application we fill out? I'm like, yeah, here it is. Yeah, right. And all of a sudden the price objection goes away. It's over. Right. It's like, oh, wow, that was easy. Yeah. But yeah, financing is, it's really empowering for a salesperson to have. Yeah. So if you don't have a good finance partner, get with us. We have a lot of companies we can refer you to, but I think you would agree that a company should have a really diverse menu of finance options they can offer to their customers.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to lenders, you definitely don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I think diversifying which lenders you use, because it's weird, because certain lenders go through different credit bureaus, so they look at different things. So having a good, I think we had like 8 different finance companies we could choose from, but you never know who's going to buy, but you don't want to leave those jobs on the table, right? So make sure you have the financing and that you have a diversified mix of lenders that you work with, first, second, third look lenders, so you can maximize your chance of getting that job paid. And why are we doing this? We want to get paid, right? Well, especially with stage funding, right?
Stage funding is great. Let's go back to the sales process. Your income is contingent upon what you sell. The owner has set this up for you to win. If you're not utilizing this financing, you're leaving so much on the table, you're probably at the bottom of the leaderboard. Get the financing down into your system. This whole thing is really geared for salespeople. You know, when you're out marketing yourself, when you're talking to a customer, you're looking for a referral. That's marketing. When you go to a house and you sell methodology, that's your business. And now you got to figure out, okay, you're getting all these customers. How can I figure out financing? Well, the first thing you want to mention to a customer is that we offer finance. Hey, Mr. and Ms. Jones, I got a lead for you. You call a lead. We offer financing. We can make this affordable for you.
And you even put it in your ads, right? Yeah. In your marketing. Dangle that out there. Early and often and throughout, from phone call to install, you know, it's important for the homeowner to understand that you offer those flexible terms. Because, again, it takes the stress out of the equation. You know, coming out with half down or even a third down, there's a lot of uncertainty with that. Yeah, there's a whole lot of strategy to it, but I agree with you wholeheartedly that financing is one of the big differentiators I see from decent companies to like apex level companies.
Right.
Offering it and having the training and the means to be able to sell it properly to your customers.
And then the salesperson being at the bottom of the list to the top of the leaderboard. Every guy that I ever been involved with, ever trained, even myself, top of the leaderboard, because I do the financing game. Yeah. And if you know the financing game, and you know the marketing game, and you know the sales methodology, you're on your way to making a lot of money in this industry.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So we talked about marketing, sales, financing. Now, of course, it's very discouraging for any salesperson to sell all these jobs and have all the success if that stuff cannot get installed and produced. Again, what are some of the important elements of production that you feel can help companies make sure that their production is keeping pace with sales, right?
When we talk production, delivery of production, there's certain things that you can control and that you can't control. And you go to your customer and you're on a job. Mr. Jones, I'm sorry it's been 8 months, but we have a backlog, but we're here today. How can you maximize that to get you another job? That's what we're talking about. Those are the things that we can control. We can control, if the company ain't got no leads, I can at least go out, hit a couple of doors to get some leads. And I mean, if they give me one lead and I want two, I can market it myself. I'm using the Guaso methodology. I know financing. Your job, whether you're the owner, salesperson, sales manager, whoever, to go see that customer.
Yeah, and I know a lot of companies are guilty of that, and no company's perfect, but where they'll sell a job and there's radio silence for months. There's no communication, there's no touch points. The customers are left in the dark, you know, a lot of times.
We carry that because those are certain things that you can have control of, but you want to make sure that the homeowner is the most important person in front of you. And when you do that, everything goes away.
And that's important, right? Because a lot of salespeople, they love chasing the shiny object in front of them, which obviously is a good mentality, right? You want to keep your eyesight forward, but you also got to make sure that the customers you do have, that you're treating them like royalty, you know, give them that 5-star white glove treatment, that experience. And admittedly, you know, from what I've seen in the industry, communication post-sale with a lot of salespeople is really bad.
Post-sale, yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
After the sale is made, you know, and homeowners feel like they kind of got taken to the cleaners a little bit. They're like, what the hell did I just do? Right. So, yeah, it's just like any marriage, right? Communication's everything. It's like when I have this contract, this like marital contract with this customer, it's important for the long-term success and their peace of mind that I maintain steady communication with them, make them understand that they're not alone. Right. I didn't just get what I wanted. I got my commission. Now I disappear.
Yeah, well, that doesn't, it flows back to the company. Yeah. But they don't realize that your income is dependent upon what you do. And the owner's only going to give you so many leads. Like I said, this is a proactive type of business. If you want to live off, the owner give me one lead today, and you may get out for whatever reason, okay? And you want to have more, this is a proper way for you to get more. Just go see your customer. Ask the owner, is it okay to go and see your customer? Take them a gift. Communicate with them. Ms. Jones, we're here and we want to give you the best job. I'll be by every now and then, make sure things are going to take some before and after pictures. But you want to make sure that you are, if the company allows you, because some companies don't allow you once you sell the job, But if the company allows you to go back and talk to them and try to get leads, that's what I would do.
So what we did for our salespeople, you can tell me what your thoughts were. At the very least, in the sales room, we had the production team would always put the calendar of installations in the sales room. So here's the installations that are taking place this week. And after the sales meeting, I'd make sure the salespeople go up to that list and see if any of their customers have the jobs being installed soon. And we make sure that, assuming you have no other leads conflicting with this, let's say you have a 10 a.m. and a 6 p.m. appointment, you have a window in between appointments, you're going to go visit that homeowner during their installation, and you're going to bring them a gift and treat them like royalty. If you can show up to their house during the install or shortly after the install or whatever to make sure that they're having a world-class experience, you're their hero. And your ability to garner referrals and, repeat business by doing that is substantial. Right. So, but I agree with you, if you have a long, lead time backlog between jobs, make sure you're maintaining touch points of communication throughout that time. If you have a normal turnaround time, let's say it's the normal 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it is, make sure you're visiting them during the install or shortly after the install, and make sure they get that, 5-star white glove experience from you. And then testimonial videos and 5-star reviews and referrals, you're going to have plenty of those. Because that all their dreams have come to fruition now. All the promises you made have come true. So they feel a lot more comfortable handing that stuff over. Like, yeah, we'd love to have our friends and family have the same experience that we did,
Right. And that's so important, Dom. I can't tell you, not only, especially for, if the company allowed you to go out there and visit with the homeowner, that is like priceless. I mean, that's like money in the bank, right? Because now you're there, you're with them, and you're seeing, you're looking at the job, you're talking to the homeowner, making sure, are you okay with this? And then after not, you're reporting that back to the office or to the installer. You're there making sure that your word, not the company's word, because they bought off you. I mean, they bought off you themselves. So how would it be like kind of odd? Well, he said he's going to do this, and you're nowhere around. True professionals, true home improvement guys are there from the beginning, from the time they walk into the house to the time they leave.
Yep.
To the jobs installed and all in between. And that's the way it has to be if you're going to be successful in this industry.
Everyone remember the John F. Kennedy quote? Ask not what your company can do for you, but what you can do for your company. So what you can do for yourself. Yeah. If you want more leads, ask yourself this question. How many of your customers are you visiting during or post-installation and getting those referrals? So I know there's some salespeople in the industry selling millions and millions of dollars in business where about half of all their leads are self-generated. That's not common though, but the potential's there. So if you want more leads, go get them.
But I think that's what's going dominant. I think that, as information comes more available for these salespeople, these sales professionals, I think like that's what it's going to have to be. You're talking about creating a life, right? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the owner giving you a ticket and he creates your life. We're talking about you creating your own life and your own lifestyle. This is not no 9-to-5 job, right? This is all based commission industry, salespeople. And when you talk about the barrier being low but the potential being high, and I like to say that the sky is only the beginning. It's not the limit. You know what I mean? You look up, that's the beginning. So you got a lot of opportunity, to be a winner. If you want to be a winner, I always want to be a winner. So I took advantage of everything that I could, and that's even today, 13, 14 hours today. Do I have to? No, but I enjoy what I do. This is your business. The company give you a lead. Okay, the company lead, you work for the company, fine and dandy, but this is all commission. If you want to create your life, just do the things that other people won't do.
Yeah, Rick Ross always defined it as me incorporated, me Inc. That's your business, right? It's you, and you are in control over your destiny for better, for worse. So again, I say this a lot in my sales speeches. I start off, the first thing we have to be willing to do as sales professionals is throw out all the excuses. Excuses are like what? Ignore the naysayers and understand that our success is only going to be held back by the limits we place on ourselves. So the first most important sale we have to make is selling ourselves to ourselves, and stop making excuses for why we're not achieving our goals. Don't point the finger at anybody else but yourself.
Right. Tony, I never talked to Tony about this, but this is exactly what he does. I follow him, I watch him, I talk to him. I just went to the Tony Hoodie conference. I know he's a big Rick Russell guy, so I could bring him up.
Oh yeah, no, Tony Hoodie. I wouldn't say we're close friends, but I'd say we're friendly acquaintances. No, I have mad respect for what he's building and what he's done, and obviously a student of Rick Grasso. Mad respect for what he's building.
So when we talk, I don't talk to him often like you, but I consider him a friend. We're connected, and but this is exactly what he does, and so he's an old school too, like me, and so all this stuff is just empowering people to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
In this industry, it didn't always used to be this way. It used to be like you said, closed fists. You know what I mean? Now it's opening up. People are more apt to give you the information. You know, so there's no reason why. And I didn't have this much information. I mean, I didn't have it. I had it, but I didn't have it as ready as it is today.
Yeah.
You know, with these sales training classes, you got Tony Hoodie, you got you, all this information. There's no reason why you shouldn't be a multi-million-dollar producer.
Right.
There's no reason why.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's what I like about your journey through this industry is, again, you've had so many mentors and you've learned so many things, but every time I see you, you're out there attending events and trying to soak it all in and networking and trying to meet new people.
Well, let me tell you this here. The reason why I know all this is because I applied it myself. I did $5 million, me personally.
Well, I can tell you, full transparency, I've never sold $5 million in a year. I wish I would have, but I've trained salespeople that have, and that's why I love about the training side. And I'm one of those trainers, like, it gives me a lot of fulfillment and gratification training people that have outsold me in every way, shape, or form. It makes me proud. It's like when your kids grow up to live a better life than you live, that's the goal.
You don't have to have big numbers. You don't have to do 50 million, 30 million. You can have a lifestyle like them if that's what they want. It's all about profit.
Profits for sanity. Volume for vanity.
Right. Profit for sanity. I live a pretty good life. Do I have a production manager? Do I have a couple guys that go and sell for me? Yeah, but they're not carrying the weight.
Yeah, I forget what article it was. I read something recently that the average net profit is like 3% in this industry.
Yeah, who's going to live off that?
Right. So I'd rather have a $20 million company or a $10 million company that's netting a 15 to 20% net profit versus a $50 million company only doing a 2 or 3% net profit. Like, what are we really accomplishing here?
Yeah, right.
So, and again, you can have the best of both worlds. And, the benefit is when you're more profitable, you can do a lot better things for your customers too.
Absolutely.
So you can have better quality crews and installation and training programs and it's service. And this is one of the last pillars you talk about here is customer service. That's right. So service after the sale, and that's where you can literally make or break a long-term relationship. And again, taking advantage of your existing clients for repeat business or referrals and stuff like that. If they don't have a good post-sale or even post-installation experience with your company, you're kind of digging your own grave.
Every company is not going to be perfect, right? Something's going to happen. This is construction. But as long as you are honest, and as long as you show that you're doing your best and you're going to get that, whatever that problem is solved, you're going to get it solved. And that's what people respect. They respect when you can look them in their eyes and say, hey, I dropped the ball. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get it done for you. And I apologize for that.
One of our clients has a lot of success sending their customers a branded, so it has their logo on it, and it has, thank you for your business and all this stuff, Cutco knife. They have a lot of luck with Cutco knives. So they send them this beautiful Cutco knife and a cutting board, and it has their company logo on it. So it's in their kitchen. So then anytime they're doing gatherings and stuff, they have this Cutco knife. It's been huge for referrals and also repeat business and stuff like that. The company is constantly top of mind. Their logo is always there. Because some of these Cutco knives last 30, 40, 50 years, So just an idea, but we're definitely big believers in that. At some point, sending a gift out to your clients just to let them know you're thinking about them, appreciation, all that stuff, it goes a long way.
So, yeah, that's what we do. We send it out, we go out, and we try to just maintain contact. And we try to, be as authentic as we can be. We're not perfect, but we're going to try to give you a perfect job where you're happy at.
So when I do sales training, I talk about there's more elements in this, but there's 4 pillars that I focus on to build trust with someone. And one of them is empathy, because people want to know that you understand them. They want to seek to understand. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Authenticity. Integrity, a word that's not thrown around a lot in sales, right? But obviously being of high moral ethics, and you say what you mean what you say. You deliver on your promises. Don't promise stuff you can't do. And also confidence. And people are going to work with people who are confident in themselves, confident in what they do, their company. This is what I like about, Sean Foyer's training, right? You got to be 10 out of 10 sold on yourself, your company, your products, your service, all that stuff. And then you can relay that confidence, that energy to your prospects. But all the things you're describing, authenticity and being honest and being a person of integrity, these are the things that surprisingly I'm seeing consistently from top performers and from the most successful businesses as well.
Our community has been, we call it the marginalized community. And when I'm down to work in the community, they've been taken advantage of. So for us, it's the honor and the privilege that they're even allowing us to come into their homes after they've been abused by a different contractor, took the money and ran off, and then the roof is still leaking, whatever the case may be. So, we have empathy, we have compassion, everything is never really about the buck, so to speak. We want to try to help people. And one of the things we do, like I say, customer service. We thank them for allowing us to come out. We thank them for the business, and then we just keep in contact with them and see what we can get. But also
showing your appreciation.
Show our appreciation.
So I always made 2 promises to myself before I entered any house, and this is more for me to get in the right state of mind. But I understand how important this is because I forget what book it was. I think it may have been a Napoleon Hill or Earl Nightingale. I think it was Earl Nightingale. But he said something that really resonated with me. He said, if you can simply make it your goal to make everyone you meet feel like they're the most important people in the world, make them feel special, all of a sudden you'll see lucky things will start happening to you. Like good things will start coming to you in your life. So I promised myself, 1, I'm going to make these people feel like the most important people in the world for the next 2 or 3 hours. And I'm going to deliver the best presentation they've ever seen in their life. So those are the 2 things. Because I'm trying to get in the right state. I'm trying to get on my A game, deliver a performance. But if you can simply pull that off, make someone feel understood and feel special and show that you genuinely care about helping them solve a problem, the rest of it, becomes easy. That's the way that you can really make a genuine connection with somebody.
Yeah.
So again, just to kind of summarize, of course, we talked about the 5 keys to building a successful home improvement company. Of course, marketing, you're out of leads, you're out of business. Make sure you have processes in place and the training so your closers are expertly trained how to capitalize on those precious leads.
The
Gross University. Then make sure that you obviously have the production, and there's a lot of things that salespeople can do to, financing. Can't forget that. Financing, a huge pillar. Production, then of course, customer service, and a lot of this stuff. They flow together, right? It's almost like a river of success that I kind of picture in my mind. Profound information, and your life story has always been inspiring to me. When I first founded Gross University, you remember way back, you weren't quite sure about this guy, Dominic Caminata, coming out here, putting these videos out with these flashy shirts. You mind sharing that?
4.5 decades of being in this industry, just being a realist, I had to test Dominic. I had to test anybody. He was putting information out. And I wanted to test him. I knew Rick Grosso. I knew some of his information. Him and Matt and Nick, I put these guys to the test, and they passed it. You know what I mean? They passed it. I have nothing but I think Dominic's the real deal. I would never have flown. You know, get out of bed this morning, missed my flight if I thought the guy wasn't for real. He's the real deal. I have a lot of respect for him. You know, he can teach a lot of people a lot of stuff. I mean, he's the real deal. He knows his stuff. You know how I know he knows his stuff? Because I know mine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're the real deal too, and obviously it's an honor to have you here in person in the studio. Again, there's a lot of things we're going to be talking about, ways we're going to continue to work together. Obviously, if anyone wants more information or wants to talk to you, is there any way that people can get a hold of you personally? If people want to learn more from Grant Winstead, the man, the legend?
The only way they can get a hold of me is through you.
Okay, good.
Call Dominic.
Sounds good. So call me, and we'll get on a call together if you want to talk to Grant. But you've always been super generous, you know, sharing your wisdom with the world. And again, I appreciate you sharing your story on this podcast. So it's a phenomenal episode of the Prophets for Sanity. Thanks for your belief in what we're building here too. I'm not perfect. As we said, you know, we've been failing forward, but nothing's going to stop me from building the most dynamic and dominating sales training organization in this industry. So that's my vision. I'm going to keep. There's no official title of industry-leading sales trainer. It's one of my affirmations. So I say it in every video. Right. I'm the industry-leading sales trainer, and kind of like you, we manifest these things.
That's right. And let me tell you this here, and I said it in your office, you are definitely on your way. I mean, you are definitely, I wouldn't say you're definitely on your way. I would say that you're definitely there. You just keep doing what you're doing. It will manifest, and you will have the world's largest organization in sales training in the home improvement industry.
Yeah, thank you.
You won't have it.
I'm ready. Let's go. All right. So again, amazing information. Thank you once again, Grant. And again, another amazing episode of the Prophets for Sanity podcast. And I'm going to have you finish this. We like to sign off every one of these. As always, in the world of business, volume is for vanity and
profit is for sanity.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.